Sisterhood Uber Alice is in full effect over at the Fed. This is the problem with giving such a high-profile position to, well, performers that don't necessarily deserve it. But diversity is our greatest strength. The moment that WWE and professional wrestling in general, of course, I'm excluding the Joshi stuff and All Japan Women's, okay? Well, there's also a reason that everybody takes a look back at the old All Japan Women's stuff and goes, wow, I wonder why that didn't continue on. Oh, because women don't draw in wrestling. I hate to break it to everybody. For as much promotion as the likes of the Four Horsewomen get, or used to get, okay, because that whole entire thing just kind of flamed out because, well, shock on that one, because outside of very few examples, they're in a draw. They're ancillary to the main card. If you want good women's wrestling, you got to go over to Japan. Like, I mean, you want proof of that concept? Who are the best workers in the Fed right now? Oh yeah, exactly. Because realistically, tell me the difference. Tell me different match quality that you'd get from Bianca Belair to Becky Lynch. You can't. All the women who are brought up in that system, brought up in the Fed system, wrestle exactly the same. You can say the exact same stuff from the guys that work and were brought up in the Performance Center, okay, in FCW. There's a reason why Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns work a very similar match. There's a reason why they have such good chemistry. It's because they work the exact same stuff. They all have, what, 6 or 7 moves running through the exact same way, and they just quibble over the finish. There's nothing exciting about the product. Because if it eventually did come down, and now with the different ownership in place, people who are very obviously bean counters because Endeavor has a big old bill that is coming due in the next couple of years. There's a reason that the women are starting to band together. Natalya wants women to support each other following Vince McMahon scandal. Women to support each other. Well, that's interesting because I've also had this idea. I don't think I've vocalized it yet, but I'm thinking we're going to see in the next couple of years another really strong push for a wrestlers union, a combat sports union with the UFC underneath the same banner. I think it's ultimately going to kill the business, but that's another topic for another time. But women banding together to support each other. Well, that's interesting. Okay, in light of these, again, allegations, scandal. What has actually been proven? What has gone to court? What has been subject of a conviction of? All right, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Names have been named. Receipts, have they been provided? Absolutely not. And then the cases that they have, oh, those receipts look like they've come out of Vince McMahon's pocketbook. The hundreds of thousands of dollars of gifts and trips and luxury prizes that Janel Grant has received does not seem really resonate with the rest of her complaints. The select, out of context text messages that she has provided for her lawsuit, in my opinion, doesn't tell the full story. But ultimately, when Vince files his retort, his side of this, I'd imagine we're going to see a very different side of Janel Grant. But, like so many other things that are out there, the moment a woman is in trouble, the women come and circle the wagons on this one. Because nobody hates women more than women, but nobody hates men more than women. In January, Vince McMahon resigned from his position at TKO Group after a lawsuit from former WWE employee Janel Grant accused him of all of those things that we've been over ad nauseum. On the recent edition of the Gorilla Position podcast, another one of those insufferable wrestling podcasts, veteran Natalya weighed in on the scandal, noting that female talent should stand in solidarity in the male-dominated wrestling industry. You go ahead and do that. You go ahead and launch an all-females brand. Hey man, you think you have so much star power? Why don't you go do it? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? No. You don't actually have that much sway when it comes to this stuff. That's why you have to rely in strength and numbers, because if you had to rely in strength of drawing power, there's a reason that there's only been one Evolution pay-per-view. There's a reason that the business has been down year over year after year when there's been such a renewed spotlight ever since the women's revolution. What was that, back in 2016? Yeah, how's the house has been up since then? On supporting each other following the allegations. Oh yes, the words that a woman said, because heaven forbid we check the truth. No. A woman felt a certain way. Cool. For me, the biggest focus is inclusion of the women and making sure that the women in WWE right now shine brighter than they ever have before. I think what grounds me is my relationship with the girls in the locker room, who are how we can stay positive for each other, how we can stay supportive of each other, just being there to talk to each other and work out your own narratives. Oh, WWE giving women a chance to shine and them just not doing anything with it. We got a women's division in WWE that's better than it's ever been. Yeah, I mean, one of your biggest stars right now is Rhea Ripley. You ask the normal person on the street, who's Rhea Ripley? And they will look at you going, was she my waitress? Like, I don't know. The best thing we can do is to give the women as many opportunities as they can. You've had just about a decade of opportunities and you haven't done anything with it. You guys headlined WrestleMania 35 and it ended on a botch. The only reason that you guys were in the main event of 35 is because you had a legit badass in Ronda Rousey flame out in combat sports, come over, and she just so happened to have a predilection for professional wrestling. That's the only reason you guys are there. Yeah, you've had opportunities, and you've shown why you shouldn't be afforded anymore. Why we shouldn't take this whole, oh, we need to support other women, not the facts. That's why we should probably dig into the facts, because your admission of that is more damning than these. I don't know, man. I don't know what to take when it comes to this stuff, because, okay, the full NCIS report on Ashley Massaro's claims about what happened in, what was it, 2006 Kuwait, 2006. She continued to work for the company for the next 2 years, but this came out, of course, and this is her lawyer using her post-mortem affidavit. It's like she didn't even pursue. Who knew? Or who knows? She might have gone forward with some stuff if she was still with us. I just think that it's incredibly scummy to be using her name in order to further something. Since her lawyer's trying to do this stuff, trying to say, oh, there should be an investigation, Vince McMahon was covering up a bunch of terrible stuff. Well, there's a full NCIS report, and, well, there's a reason that they aren't going to tell you that it corroborates her story, because guess what? It absolutely doesn't. And remember, guys, there's a trigger. I hate wrestling journalism more than I hate regular journalism, and that's a fair amount. NCIS's full investigative report into Ashley Massaro's 2007 allegation has been released. 2007. Okay. That was 2006. But yeah, she continued to work for the company for another year. Okay. So terrible, right? After Massaro passed away in May of 2019, an affidavit was made public, where she alleged, yes, the WWE covered up something that happened on a military base in 2007. And yeah, of course, this is going to involve the federal the armed services, right? At the time, yes, the Fed published a statement regarding the allegations. Okay, not at the time Vince McMahon or the management and the Fed was ever informed by Massaro or anybody else that she had been, anything that she, not even she alleges, okay? Her affidavit released by her lawyer post-mortem alleges, right? But feel free to read that stuff, because I don't dignify made-up ghost stories anymore. The NCIS responded to the request by WrestlingOnline.com before the full investigative report into the allegations, and the request was upheld with minor changes to redact the names of individuals involved, the name of the agent who conducted the investigation, and the personally identifiable information. So exactly the same type of stuff that you'd get if you made a FOIA request. Totally makes sense. Okay, so they're not trying to hide anything except for all the feelings of anybody who is just so deeply involved in this. The investigation was opened June 28th, 2019. So they took this serious at the time when these were made public, okay? After a report from the U.S. Air Force of Special Investigations issued a report concerning Massaro's allegations. That organization and the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division conducted the initial investigation before handing it off to the NCIS after they were unable to locate the alleged crime scene. Oh, interesting. A report by the OSI stated that Ashley was treated at Camp LSA on July 2nd, 2006. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was 2006. By former U.S. Navy Lieutenant Physician Assistant. Ashley Massaro's medical record was reviewed by a U.S. Navy OBGYN specialty leader whose name was withheld. That's fine. And nothing in the record supported the claims of, nothing supported the claims of Massaro. Go figure. So, okay, cool. So I have a general distrust of the government, especially of a lot of the military officers and the people that are in charge. So yeah, my healthy skepticism is still very much in check, but who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? Post-mortem words of somebody who's trying to be leveraged at a very opportune situation? Or the entire government is trying to cover up something that happened over a decade ago? Just about 2 decades ago? what are we doing here? Yes, the executive summary. The reactive investigation was initiated, yes, July or June 9th, the 28th of June in 2019, following receipt of information from, AFOSI, Life Support Area Camp, Camp LSA in Kuwait. The incident involved deceased civilian World Wrestling Entertainment personality, Massaro. The background, the affidavit signed, death pertaining to the lawsuit against the Fed. Massaro claimed that on a USO tour in Kuwait, taken to a medical facility, treated for dehydration, and then everything bad happened to her. This case is closed. Going forward, yet to the date, no subject, scene, or witness has been identified. The reported victim is deceased. No prosecutorial venue exists within the NCIS RU Corpus Christi, Texas area of responsibility. So then in 3 points, I have it right here. Reactive investigation pertains to a suspected violation of Article 120 under all of the different jurisdictions and titles. Additionally, Army CID has conducted an investigative activity pertaining to the investigation. However, NCIS assumed primary investigative authority. According to the OBGYN specialty leader, Bumed, the record review did not indicate anything indicative of allegations of assault provided by Massaro. Exhibit 15 provides amplifying details. And finally, all logical investigative leads had been exhausted. To date, no suspect, scene, or witness has been identified. So, the next time you hear any big brain try to bring up the whole Ashley Massaro Kuwait story in 2006, there you go. No leads. It's done. All logical investigative leads have been exhausted. So either the government is running a big cover-up for the furtherance of somebody who has resigned from a private company, or I don't know, this whole believe all women narrative is further crumbling. I don't know for sure what exactly the truth is. All you can do is go off the facts, and, well, frankly, they certainly point in one pointed direction. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.